Hey everybody, it's your favorite boy, Scotty B. Anyway, this is Scott with 4 Seasons. That's Andrew with the 4 Seasons.
What up?
We're just gonna do a quick video because we just got back from the Northwest Overland Rally.
Crew.
And it was just a fantastic time, and I thought when we came back there'd be one good takeaway from this, is we had a Tacoma owner riding into Colorado the whole weekend. And I know we have a video coming out about me talking about why I bought a Colorado, but now as an owner it's kind of hard because we have a little bit of inherent bias whether we think so or not.
Yeah.
So this video is going to be cool because you're just going to hear the insight from a Tacoma owner riding into Colorado. Now I'm just going to put a couple quick things together just to set the video up. This is a Colorado ZR2 2019. He has a 2016 Tacoma TRD off-road, and basically what we're going to be comparing here is he's going to be comparing his to mine. And the reason why we feel like this is a good comparison is because from actually the TRD off-road to a Pro, there's not really a lot of tangible differences. Granted, I will fully admit, fantastic shocks, but realistically, mechanically, we're talking about the same truck, right? So I think it's gonna be a good comparison.
Yeah.
So Andrew's truck, he's had it stock and he's also had it modified. Currently what he has a 33-inch BFG KO2 with load range E tires, and it's on an Old Man Emu, about 3-inch lift with Dakar leaf packs. And that kind of just sets the stage here, and I'm just gonna kind of now let him take away basically his impressions of the Colorado.
Yep, absolutely. So, we good? Cool.
Yeah.
So the first thing to worth noting, I guess, and maybe this matters to some of you, maybe it doesn't, but the first thing that stands out to me, honestly, is the miles per gallon. So this is, did you already mention this is the diesel?
If not, this is the diesel.
This is the diesel. So diesel ZR2, there's a gas one as well, but whatever. The
little
point
glug
is,
glug.
Little glug glug on this one. But the point is, when I was running my Tacoma stock, I was getting around 18 to 22 miles per gallon, and then once I threw those 33 KO2s on there, I'm pulling around, averaging maybe 16 to 18 if I'm lucky. And that stands out to me. It's not terrible, it's kind of what I would expect, but at the same time, the Tacoma, especially the Gen 3 with the 3.5 liter instead of the 4.0, it's kind of there's something to be asked for with power, right? It's kind of lacking in power, at least in my personal experience. So to not have the power that I want and to also get fuel economy that's meh, it's kind of a buzzkill. With this thing, when we were driving across the pass and getting to the Northwest Overland Rally to do all the technical course, all that stuff, I think we were averaging around 28 miles per gallon with the diesel. I think you said lifetime at the moment is 24.
Yeah, so over 4,000 miles and about 24 miles per gallon. I will say that I am a pretty easy driver though. I don't really hammer on my trucks.
I smash on my trucks.
So it's worth saying that when I drove his Tacoma, at first I had it for 500 miles. I was actually getting around about 18, 19 city and about 21, 22 highway.
Yeah.
And with this truck, I'm seeing about 21 to 22 city and anywhere between 27 and 30 on the highway.
Which is just, crazy for a mid-sized truck. That stands out to me. Now, the other impressions of it, being the diesel, it feels like it's got a lot of low-end power. It feels super comfortable to drive in both highway and off-road. Like I said, on the technical course that we did at the Northwest Overland Rally, it definitely felt smooth, not a whole lot of road noise. I think you mentioned that they put in extra...
Yeah, there's a few things with the Colorado with the diesel that they had to change because people hate diesels in America, as you probably know, hence the reason there are none really.
Yeah.
But there is extra sound deadening in the Colorados.
And it's definitely noticeable. And I'm, like I said, I drive my vehicle hard, so I'm kind of smashing on it all the time, and that motor's working, and you can hear it. It doesn't help that I put that MBRP exhaust on it. That's a little bit on me.
Throaty!
It's pretty throaty. But this thing's very quiet, very comfortable. And the other impressions that stand out to me, from being a stock vehicle, to get the suspension that this thing has with the, what is it called?
DSSV, so
DSSV.
dynamic spool valve suspension from Chevy.
That's pretty, and again, like Scott mentioned, on the TRD Pro, it comes with those 2.5 inch Fox shocks.
Yep.
So great suspension, and then the factory sliders are awesome. The fact that it comes with sliders, it stands out to me.
And we did use them at Overland Rally.
We did, yeah.
So that was pretty sweet.
Worst line. So anyway, those things stand out to me. As for the interior, the sound system in here is amazing. I don't mind the sound system in my Tacoma. I've definitely blown a speaker or two and probably need to replace those. But the Bose in this, just off the factory, is fantastic. Interior feels a little bit bigger than I have in the Tacoma. I will say it's still a higher floor, as you would expect with a high clearance mid-size truck, which to be expected just because you want that extra clearance. You're not going to have the depth you would have in a full size. slightly bigger interior, which I mentioned, and then the thing that stands out is I guess the design of the inside, the interior. In the Tacoma, I really do prefer that personally. Just it looks a little bit more, I guess, like edgy.
It's more rugged. It's a more rugged design.
Yeah. However, and in this one, it looks a little bit more like SUV style. But the thing I'll note is the nav unit. So I don't mind the nav unit in the Tacoma, but I think it's what, Entune 2?
Yeah, it's Entune 2.
I don't even use it for navigation. I pretty much just turn my phone either for like Google Maps or lock into like Bluetooth and just play my music, whatever. I don't really use it that much. With this, it does tie into Apple CarPlay. The nav unit on it is amazing, like for actually using navigation. And yeah, I think that's, I mean, as for things that stand out to me right off the bat.
So we covered that stuff. Now I guess
off-road.
Now we're gonna jump into off-road.
So then actually getting off-road, like I mentioned, I've got that off-road edition, the TRD off-road. It comes with a rear locker and crawl control, which is great. This has a front and rear locker, and the only other vehicles that have that.
Yeah, so you're gonna realistically, you have the Jeep, and you have the Power Wagon,
Yep.
the Gladiator, and then you have the ZR2. Obviously, there's vehicles like G-Wagons, Range Rover, stuff like that, but in terms of this price range, that's what we're looking at.
Yeah, so that's definitely noticeable. When we hit the off-road course, it rides extremely smooth, and I was able to step out just like taking pictures and seeing it compared to other vehicles. We've got another buddy in our group with the Lexus GX, which is using A-Track to essentially clamp tires whenever it's feeling that traction slip. And so then it's going to do that, and it's a great system, but you have to kind of ease into it and let the computer figure out, okay, which tire do I need to clamp down on? With this, there's no question of that. It locks, the lockers lock pretty much instantaneously. I personally, with my Tacoma, I've kind of got to play with it a little bit, and I think you guys have, in the 4Runner, had some, like, it's a little bit harder to get that rear locker engaged. With this, there was no problem. It was just, hit the switch and it was there. So that was really cool to see. The fact that there is a front locker is awesome. Now, I'll say that Tacoma, Toyota, like they try to compensate for that with crawl control, and that, I mean, it's great. I'm blown away at crawl control. Anybody that thinks it's kind of like a gimmick sort of thing, maybe hasn't experienced it. I love crawl control, but there's something to be said for just a front and rear locker, right? It's simple, it works, it's effective, and seeing this thing in comparison to a system like A-Track, it was immediate, it was instantaneous, same thing there, but it's over the obstacles, it made them a breeze. Like, the guy, the spotter that was taking him on the course, purposefully gave him the worst line on some of the obstacles just to see what the truck could do. And with the lockers engaged, it didn't even blink. Like, it just went through it, no problem, looked really smooth. And yeah, I mean, I was kind of impressed with what this thing could do stock off-road.
So I guess the final thing we're going to do is just basically, we had this conversation in the truck, so let's rewind now. Now you don't have a Tacoma.
Yeah.
Now what you know with this is a $41,000 truck. Exactly, I paid $41,701.
Yep.
And so just taking that into perspective, now you're a buyer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now he's going to give you the most unbiased way of, like, I guess, value in purchasing and things like that.
Totally. So if I didn't have a Tacoma right now, and I came from like a Subaru Impreza, 5-speed Subaru Impreza, and this was a guy that convinced me to get into Toyotas because he had a Tundra at the time. And so we went and we checked out, I don't even know if the ZR2 was out then.
If it was just the gasser, but anyway, yeah.
So let me put it this way. If I was looking at the Trd Pro or the ZR2, I would take the ZR2. The reason for that is because of the enhancements that you're going to get with it. The fact that you get a front and rear locker coming up from the Z71, and it's around the same price point. It's 41.
It's $8,000 cheaper than a Pro.
It's $8,000 cheaper? Okay.
When I cross-shopped, you couldn't get one for about $49,000, and this truck, as it sits, like I said, was $41,700. So it's about, and let's just say, let's go MSRP to MSRP. The truck's about $3,000 cheaper without rebates.
Okay. So even with that in mind, I would still take the ZR2 over the Pro. It sounds like it would come with some cost savings as well. If I were to look at a TRD off-road versus a Z71, the model below this, I would definitely still go the off-road, because in the Z71, you don't get the rear locker.
Well, you get an auto locker, the G80, but that's also the same like the A-Track versus a selectable locker.
Yep.
You're still the selectable locker is going to be superior to an auto locking differential like a G80.
So if you're looking at like an off-road to a Z71, personally, I would do an off-road. If you're looking at either a TRD Pro or a ZR2, personally, again, I would go the Z72. So I guess it depends on like what you're looking to get stock.
He meant ZR2.
What did I say?
The Z72. There's a lot of
numbers
involved
and
letters
man.
involved with the truck. But I think the takeaway from this is that
Yep.
actually, strangely, we both agree, and I've made it very clear that if I was actually shopping and I was in the same predicament,
Yep.
I would totally have bought a TRD off-road
Yeah.
over the Z71. And I would totally, again, obviously I did, but I would buy a ZR2 over a Pro.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we could also agree that if Toyota dropped a diesel in a Tacoma like they've got in a Hilux overseas or wherever else, buy that up real quick.
Because it's
Hell,
like
Toyota.
we've
Or-
all been asking for a diesel
Midsize.
midsize with a front locker.
Wait, just in America though, because we learned that overseas they
Everyone else hates it. Apparently,
diesels.
Australians hate good cars. So, what up with that?
Yeah.
So anyway, I guess the quick wrap up of it is I'm a completely satisfied owner so far with it.
I still love my Toyota Tacoma, and I also do like that I've got to build certain parts of it. Like I did get to build the suspension, take my pick of it, and then get to choose my sliders or whatever else. But if I was just coming into the market at a higher end, like the highest tier possible, that would have been the route to go, for sure.
So anyway, guys, we had a great time at the Northwest Overland Rally. I highly recommend doing it. This is Andrew's first time. I'm sure he had a good time. Anyway, if you guys have any time, you can obviously see we're rocking this sweet CBI shirt. So check these guys out, because guess what? We got tons of CBI gear to install on both of our
We
trucks.
have a lot of CBI
And then
gear.
also, I don't know if you see this fresh hat of mine.
No, but yeah, Heretic.
Yeah, it's Heretic. We got to spend a ton of time with these guys, just chatting it up and talking trucks. What a bunch of cool dudes. Like, seriously, like, what a bunch of down-to-earth guys.
And on top of that, their products are just amazing. So they do lighting. Be sure to check them out. We'll drop links in the description. And while we're at it, please, if you found this informative, don't forget to smash that thumbs up button or subscribe to the channel, too, while you're at it.
Anyway,
And then, yeah.
I think that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys. If you have anything in the comments, let us know what you want to see, because I'll tell you right now, I don't know what to film. So you got your choice of cars. You tell me.
Help
you
me
tell
help
me.
you.
Thanks for watching, guys.
Peace out.